All right, guys, so you want to know how to put on this trim lock. Bolt edging, whatever term you know it by, to trim out your boat carpet when you install new carpet on your boat. This is, like I said, this is that what they call trim lock, and this is a piece of the old trim lock that came on the boat that I replaced. If you can look at this, if I don't tear up everything. They kind of got different profiles on them. The new stuff is a little bit thicker, and the back side of it is more straight on the back side. But it stalls the same way. It'll do the same thing, so you shouldn't have to worry about changing. You know, because I was worried it wasn't gonna cover my carpet like the old stuff did, but it does, because I did the other side. So I want to be able to get a pattern down to be able to install this the right way before I can show you guys what's going on with this. So for the first part of this, down in the channel here where this trim lock is going to sit, you want to make sure you got every piece of overhanging piece of carpet, the little black stringy pieces. I've been getting my scissors, been going down, just cutting them off, picking up every little piece of carpet that's on this part where this trim lock sits. Right now it's pretty dirty. I got my vacuum cleaner. I'm gonna clean that off. Then I'm gonna go down with a rag with acetone on it to try to get that surface as clean as can be, because when you put this 3M adhesive down, you definitely don't want to try to pick it back up. So let's vacuum this out and put, you know, some acetone on the rag and just come and try to clean this part up best we can. All right, now that I got that little pieces vacuumed up, like I said, you're still gonna have to go down, and every time you touch this, a piece of that black little stringy stuff that holds that carpet together comes up. So you're gonna have to trim that a couple times. So I just got some acetone in a little bottle on a little rag, and I'm gonna make sure I go down there and clean this surface off real well with that acetone. I mean, if you got alcohol, it should do the same thing, but I want to make sure that I get a good surface for that glue to stick to. And like I said, today it's getting a little bit warm right now, but it might be 35 degrees out here today, and this is not the perfect time to do this, of course, but this is the time I have to do this, which, like all other projects, when you got time to do it, that's when you do it. So like I said, I'm just making sure I get every piece of surface here clean with this acetone. Make sure all these little bits and carpet pieces will be out the way here. So once I get that where I think it should be, like I said, I'm gonna keep going here with cutting these little little stringy black pieces off this carpet that's in the way. Because you don't want to, you want to try to get everything that might stick up under that glue, or that the sticky surface of that trim lock. You want to get that out the way for it to have the best surface that it possibly can have. And any little pieces that might fall in while you are doing that, putting that trim lock down. So you, like I said, it's gonna take a little bit, you know. You're gonna have to do this maybe a couple of 3-4 times here as you go down. And at this point in time in your carpet job, do not pull on carpet. If you see a piece hanging off, use your scissors, because you've been picked up a piece and it's been pulled out. Then you're trying to glue it back down. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna start up here in the front because this trim lock actually goes under my front panel here. So that's a good place to start. And the things that I'm gonna be using is a heat gun, and like I said, I got my scissors, and I got a pair of dikes here that'll actually cut that material, because that material is awful hard and stiff, and like I said, it's cold out here, so it's not the most pliable thing that you can just cut with any kind of cutter. So that's what the heat gun is for. When I put it down, as I'm putting it down, I'm heating it up to get it pliable for it to actually bend, and you can actually make it go into different shapes. That's what the heat gun's for. So let's get back up here in the front. I can show you what I did with the front of the actual piece of trim lock, and we can keep going. All right, guys, I want to apologize for the lighting. Like I said, I'm under this carport, and here in front of this boat, this lighting is always bad until the sun passes enough to for the shadows don't sit on this boat. But we got to do what we got to do here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull me a piece off here. The other side I didn't have to do that, but this is the opposite side, so I had to flip this trim lock around. So I got probably another 20 feet on this piece here, and I just want to cut it before I can work with it. So depending on how much you got, you might have to make sure you got enough for the back, but I know I got enough for the back. And right now I probably got, you know, almost 10 inches a foot at the end back there hanging over, so I know I got enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my dikes here, just cut it, try to cut in a straight line. It's not a big deal if you don't. And the other thing is, try to keep that trim out the way so you don't step on it and scar it up and all that good stuff, because I see a couple pieces of scarring on here that I might have to try to buff out or something. I don't know, but so if you look right here in the front, see if I can get you almost in there. I'm gonna try to stand in front of it before we can see it. There you go. If you can see this part right here, it's actually comes into a point right here. So I'm gonna try to trim this trim lock at an angle right there. Like I said, you don't have to be precise, because probably an inch of it is going to be up under this piece of trim here in front of my boat. So I'm just trying to trim it a little bit to see when it turns in there it'll. So you might have to trim some off the front and the back of it. Don't trim too much because you don't want to get where it's showing. I mean, but you can always fix that. That's not a big deal. Okay, now it's time before I can get my heat gun. See, it doesn't want to make that turn right now. The heat gun to make it pliable, but you can make that turn. Let me get the heat gun real quick. Okay, I got my heat gun, and I got something that I could place my heat gun back on the boat without laying a hot heat gun on the carpet. Right now, this is an older heat gun, as you can see. It's got two settings, a low and a high, and I've been using low, so it's not blowing that. I don't want it super hot, so I just want it warm enough to be able to make this pliable. And right now I still got the 3M tape still on the back, and like I said, it's not going to be hot enough that I can still hold it. I'm not holding it the whole time, but you'll feel it start to go limp. And I'm trying to heat up the surface too, because like I said, it's about 35 degrees outside. So I want to try to get this first like 6-7 inches of this pliable. And you'll feel it start to loosen up. And like I said, it's not hot enough. You see my fingers in the middle way of, I can feel the heat, but it's not hot. And like I said, it's got a little wind out here today because it's a little cool, so it might take longer now than it would when, if you did it in the summertime. But as you can see, it's starting to been able to bend it a little bit. So you can see it's starting to get flexible now. Okay, I think that's good enough. So I'm gonna just do a test fit real quickly. Okay, then I'm gonna just pull me a little bit of this 3M tape off the back. Enough that I can stick down in this corner, and trying to keep that trim on the back side of the gunnel here, and you just want to stick it down. Just rub your finger over it. Make sure it's got a good surface contact, because this is what's going to hold the front of this, because the back side of it's got a little clip with a screw that holds that. But so like I said, when you put that trim on, it's going to hide that. So let me get you set up so you can have a decent view of what I'm doing, and we'll keep on going. Okay, we got the front locked down, so now we're just going to get our heat gun. We're going to start a piece of this tape before we can get to it. And don't be in a hurry with this tape. Just keep it there for when you need it. I've been working probably 10 inches at a time, because you don't want to hurry this. You don't want it to wrinkle up at a point where you're trying to have a bubble in it or something like that. You just want to, like I said, it's not that big of a deal here in the front because it's not a big turn, but when we get to the back, I got a lot of ins and outs that we got to go in and out of. So like I said, I'm just trying to keep my hand at a point where when I pull this tape back, I know I can pull it to that point, and I know this is the part of it where I've been using my heat gun on it. So like I said, you'll feel it trying to get limp. It'll be more pliable, and like I said, you can move it around. So it doesn't take too terribly long here. Like I said, I'm trying not to be too close to ruin the carpet, melt the carpet. So just want to try to keep it off the carpet. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to pull that 3M tape to where my hand is, and I want to try to keep this on the gunnel side of this wall here, for when I stick it down, I'm pushing against this wall, and just run your finger back and forth on it, try to get good contact, because you don't want a gap along this wall. So you're trying to keep it tight as you can on that wall. And if you feel like it's a little hump in there or something, just push down a little harder. That's why you're only doing like 10 to 12 inches at a time. Okay, I feel that's good enough for that, so I'm gonna move on down. You guys are not, like I said, I'm sorry for this the lighting right now, but when we get to the back, you should be able to see better. And like I said, if you see any carpet pieces under the bottom, just pull them out the way. And I'm doing this left-handed because it's this left side of this bolt here. So at this point, like I said, it's pliable enough to go on down the line, but I just like to heat up the glue. The little sticky glues are behind it on the backing. Everything, get warmed up, and even warm the surface that is sticking to. But just make sure you keep it up high enough so you don't damage your carpet up under there. So like I said, I'm just gonna pull that tape to where my hand is. And like I said, I'm getting it low enough up under this lettering here that it's against the wall. And I'm just sticking it down. So just doing the next 10 to 12 inches. Like I said, just pull your tape up to where your hand is at. Get up under this lock. It's not lock, but and just stick her down. Just stick her down. So All right, when you get close to the end, like I said, I probably got another 12 inches before I get to the end. You could probably see a hole right here. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. There's a hole right here. Right here at the end of this dikes here. That hole is for this cap and this screw to actually finish the edge of this trim lock. So what I have, well, I just only did one side over there, but this side is different because it drops off into no man's land right here at the end. And this trim piece is only so big. So you got to try to, hate to say it, but guesstimate how much you're going to need at the end. Let me get a marker. Okay, I got my little white marker here. So when you get to this point, by the inch of it, it's going to be under the cap. So right now I'm gonna trim it about right here. That's because like I said, I already did one and I had to keep trimming it. So I know that would go up under that cap, but this cap starts to go downhill on the top part of it right here at the front. And the other thing about that, this cap is one-sided, as you can see. It's longer on one side than it is on the other side, as you can see right here. And that short side is going to go against the gunner part right here for the hide. You know, it doesn't have to hide the carpet and the edge of this trim lock. So when you put the cap on the top of it, it'll kind of hide the front tip of where you cut it and actually finish the end of it. So, and the other part is the hole that you gotta drill a hole in this thing. So it's almost just, I mean, you're just guessing. I mean, I got my ruler and my tape measure and all that good stuff. I can show you what I did. I got the tape measure out and I put it against the actual bolt here and tried to see how far that hole is out from the bolt. And it just didn't. It got me in the ballpark, but it just didn't, I guess right here it's 2/16. This helps if you know how to read a tape measure. 2/16. So if I put this, that's the hard part, putting the trim block against the bolt here at that 2/16. I want to put a mark on that. I'm pretty sure it's a better way. You guys might find a better way, but that's the way I've come up with. So right now it's the time to cut it. I'm gonna cut it on my line. Then I'm gonna get my drill bit. This is a 6/64 drill bit. Like I said, this is the screw that's gonna go in it. So it's not very big at all. So I'm just gonna take my time and drill this hole in the end of this. Trying to get all the little bits off, but I'm gonna try to wallow out this hole just a little bit, because this hole doesn't have to be exact, because the cover is gonna cover it up. So I want this screw just to go in there without having to screw it in there. Like I said, that's still kind of tight for it, but then I want to try to see if that hits in that hole, which it does. Okay, we know that's right. Now we got to try to trim this trim lock good enough to get this cap on it without it looking awkward and don't want to go on there. So the piece, like I said, this aftermarket trim is not the same size of the trim that went in here before. The trim that was in there before, I'm just trying to show you all of this before, for why we doing what we doing. The trim in there before fit up under that cap without any trimming. But this one, we're gonna have to trim off some of this to get it to fit on there just right. And unfortunately, the front part of that is what we got to trim off. And like I said, it's all a guesstimation. It's going to be hidden anyway. I just don't want to trim off too much. Got like a little lip on it that covers the carpet. That's the part that's sticking out up under that trim. Just trimming a little bit at a time. Let me get my X-Actos, my little small ones, so I can make some minute cuts. And the whole time I'm just test fitting it. Just a little bit more. Trying to get the look finished now. Okay, once it sits on there and the screws on there and everything, I still got some on the front here I need to cut off. These little small ones are not the deal for that. Okay. Okay, I want that cap to go on there straight. Okay, so I know the screw will go in there. And the cap would go on top of that. So I think we're good to go on that. So like I said, that's just detail work at the end of it that you're going to have to do to get that to cap off just right here. And these caps, I'm going to paint them up, make them look nice, because they the original caps that was on the boat. So let's get these last couple inches done here. Okay, I'm gonna still keep a piece of this tape at the very end here where my finger is, right here. And like I said, you cannot pull this, you know. I'm just thinking you don't want any kind of tension on this, because when, like I said, when the sun hits it, it's going to want to loosen up. I mean, when I say loosen up, it's going to get pliable again. You just don't want it to start pulling back or anything like that. So I'm going to remove the tape, and I'm going all the way to the edge. Let me pull that up just a little bit because I don't see my hole up on that. That's why I want to keep my tape on there. But I'm just going to try to test fit this screw before I push that last little bit in. And it's not in there. Okay. I just decided to make another hole for that screw because I can. So I was off on that hole just a little bit, but like I said, it's not a big deal. Don't hit the camera. Okay, now I'm gonna put this trim piece on, and you got to pull the trim piece out just a little bit. I mean the trim out just out a little bit to get this piece behind it. Like I said, you can put this screw in it. So that edge is finished, and the rest of it is done nicely. Let me show you. Okay, as you can see, that finished that edge of that trim lock, and it's nice and straight up to the edge there. Okay, so we got the front done. Let me show you the other side real quick. Moving some of my junk out the way. As you can see, the end here stopped right here in front of my console, and it transitions on up there in the front. And like I said, it goes up under my graph, not my graph, but my front panel here. So that is looking very well. I'm happy with that. Now we have to do the back. Like I said, the back's got those holes for the actual caps, and it goes around. And like I said, it goes in and out, in and out. and it finished on the other side. So let me get everything trimmed up around this edge and get all the little clips out of there, and we'll come back and we'll do this backside, and we'll just maybe do a time lapse or something. But I just want to show you guys every little piece I can on this video. This video shouldn't be too long, so let me get the little clips done and clean off around here and get my acetone and clean everything up, and we'll come back and finish this up. I think I got the wrong side cap for this side. I got the other side. Let me cap for this side. Yeah, like I said, the longer side is going to be covering up the actual carpet. So you got to pay attention to that. Especially like I said, if we was having problems like I was just having problems getting that started. And like I said, you got to get that up under this piece. Okay. So right off the bat, I got a big turn right here. Get stuff situated. And I just want to do the same technique. Get all my wires together here. So I'm gonna need this pretty pliable to make that first turn. So I'm kind of putting a little pressure on this trim lock to see when it starts being pliable enough to make that turn. And like I said, I'm trying to keep it away from that carpet also, but I need it to heat up pretty good. Okay, it's been pliable enough to make that turn, but I want it good and pliable though. I want to make sure it don't want to spring back as soon as I start sticking it down. Especially right here where that tape is. So I'm going to heat this little part up pretty good here. Keeping in mind, stay away from the carpet. Okay, I think that's good enough for that. So I want to pull my tape. I want to keep it up against the trim part here, sticking it as I go. You want that down there pretty good, because if it's going to come loose, this is where it's going to come loose at. I'm trying to put good pressure on right here. Alright, so we can move down just a little bit. Like I said, this is going to be like 5-6 inches at a time situation here. We don't want to rush all this because a lot of this is nothing but turns. Piece of that carpet wrinkle up, but the hairs on it disappear. So you want to keep it far enough off. Trying to keep it on the back side here. I can't emphasize enough, you got to have good contact, because on the other side this trim lock was coming off on my boat before I did the carpet. So we're just going to ease on down the brick road here, a little bit at a time. Right here in this straight spot, we can do a little longer piece. And just like I said, keep in mind again, I'm trying to definitely warm up the trim lock, but then again, I'm trying to warm up the bottom surface of the boat. Like I said, it's still kind of cool out here today. But I don't think you'll have a problem in the summertime or springtime when it's warm outside. But so we're going to pull. And stick. Like I said, I'm trying to keep the back of that trim along the back side of this boat here. And like I said, more and more you go, that your heat going to get hotter and hotter, so it won't take as long. But that's when you have to pull it back some. You have to keep in mind that it is getting hotter and hotter. All right, we're gonna get in this turn here. It's nothing different. I'm just putting a little pressure in this corner, just that way it'll let me know when it's ready to go in that corner, and I won't be forcing it. I'm just paying close attention to that carpet up under it, because I see sometimes the carpet, little hairs on the carpet that'll shrink up, meaning I'm getting it too hot, too close to that carpet. Like I said, you want to make sure you press it in that corner. I think I was trying to bite off too much. It's almost ready, but I got tension on the back side where the rest of this trim is trying to pull down. See, that had a little bend in it, a little bubble right here that I had to push out. So make sure you are pushing that from the back side to the front. Don't stick none of the front up down before you get this back stuck, because it'll try to leave a hump right there. Trying to heat that surface up also. And like right here close to my hand, I feel it needs a little bit more. Like right now I feel it going limp. Just push her down. This trims out this carpet very nicely. Like I said, we're just gonna keep on going in this corner here. And I'm trying to keep this the rest of this off the before I can make that turn without having any resistance on it. So I'm just gonna put the back end of it on the bolt. Just got had a little bubble. That's another one. You might not think of a bubble like but you can feel like a little ripple going down through here. It's a hump, and you can push it out like I just pushed that out. Here's another one right there. My biggest tip I could say, just keep it moving and keep it away from that carpet, because close you get that carpet, you see the carpet just draw up, and that's the little hairs on it just melting. And like I said, you can start feeling it get pliable. Like I said, when I'm pressing this down, this hand is pushing against the gunnel on the bolt here, trying to keep it flush as possible. Trying to make sure it's flat too. And it should just be right along that little bend here. Oh man, my finger's gonna be raw. It's already scarred up from just pressing on this. Should have had some gloves on, but it's almost done. All right. Like I said, we got this cap that goes on there with the screw that goes in that hole there. Let me get my ladder. Okay. Just trying to guesstimate what I need. Like I said, this is all a guesstimation. Just eyeballing it. Okay, my guesstimations says I need to cut right here. No turning back now. Snips here cut this stuff a lot better, but it's the jaws on it's not as wide that you can almost grab the whole thing. So then I'm gonna straight cut it right here. And I'm gonna drill my guesstimated hole. Because guys, you can drill as many holes you want to up under that cap, because it's going to be covered up. So my guesstimated hole is going to be almost right. I just need to wallow this hole out a little bit toward me. Put the cap on it, put my screw in it, just test fit it. Yeah, that's going to work out pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and put this last piece down. I'm going to go ahead and hit it. I mean, I could put it straight down, but I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the heat gun to try to get that glue, some heat in that glue that's up under there, and heat up this surface a little bit. So that adhesive will stick a little bit better. That's my thoughts anyway. Okay. All the tape is off. I'm gonna put this cap on. Where'd the cap go? On here, cause it needs to be just a little bit for that cap to sit on there just right. Okay. Get the drill. To screw this screw in. Oh, watch out, camera. And there she goes. So we have done this whole boat with the trim lock slash carpet trimming. It probably took us, if I had to guess straight, without any interruptions or anything like that, hour and a half, maybe hour and a half, I would guess. Like I said, once you get your system down and getting it going pretty good, it goes pretty quick once you have all your trimming trimmed, because I had everything trimmed around this carpet before I started, so that helped out a lot. And just a quick tip, I guess I might have, I say 12, 13 feet left. I mean, I think this was like a 30-foot roll. I want to say it was 30 foot, but it might have been shorter than that. But I put everything in the description. But when it comes up, when you get it, it comes rolled tight. I mean, super tight, even tighter than this. So the best thing you can do is just take it out, try to straighten it out, and especially if you're finna use it, try to leave it out and put something on one end and something on the other end to keep it out. Because if you don't, when you let it go, it's gonna do this without putting some heat to it. So you don't want to work with something like this that's got memory in it, it's trying to get back to where it was. So that's the thing about the heat gun. The heat gun takes the memory out of it, and if it's got a good surface to adhere to, hopefully it won't remember what it was when it first got here. So I think I could probably do the backside of this boat again with that left over. So, but other than that, guys, I appreciate you watching. And like I said, this is I want to make this video best as I possibly could, because I haven't seen nobody on YouTube do this video, and I've seen a lot of people on the forums ask how to do this. You know, nobody's letting that information out. So make sure you share this video, hit the subscription, because like I said, I got where I did all the carpet, all the padding. Like I said, I'll be doing seats and gauges and graphs and everything. So if you like that type of content, please hit the subscribe button and look around my channel, because we do fishing tournaments, hunting, all the good stuff. So I appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell let you know when the next time a video with this boat makeover will be coming to you. So I done rabbled enough, and I appreciate it again, guys, and we out of here. Thanks for watching.